Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We do have a quorum for our July 2024 board meeting, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 10:03 a.m. Roll call, Mr. Kevin Freitas.
Hi, Kevin Freitas.
Mr. Jaime Quesada.
Hi, Jaime Quesada.
And Miss Diane Montoya. All right, thank you. Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next item is the approval of the agenda and previous minutes, which were previously emailed to you. The agenda for this morning and the minutes from our last board meeting from June 26th, 2024. The previous minutes are also being reflected on our shared screen at the moment. And if there's any questions or discussion, we could have them at that time. If not, we can make a motion to approve today's meeting and the previous meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda for the day and the previous meeting's minutes.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Quesada, second by Mr. Freitas. Seeing no opposition, the motion passes. Thank you. Next item is an item that was tabled from last month. The discussion and action of the annual resolution, and we will pull that up as well.
So it's in item E.
And we did add the new legislative directive there for the live audio and video webcasts of governing body meetings shall be accessible through the charter school's website and shall include a user interface that allows members of the public to submit written or verbal comments. A webcast shall begin as soon as practicable after the chair has called the meeting to order, and shall terminate as soon as practicable after the governing body has adjourned. Recordings of the webcast and an electronic copy of any minutes approved of the meeting shall be posted on the charter school's website within 1 week of the meeting's conclusion, and shall be publicly available for at least 3 years following the SB 137 legislation. So that was included in that. And the reason why we tabled it last month and need to approve it today. Hi, can I ask who's on the line with the iPhone?
It's Trish. Good morning, guys.
Hi, good morning.
Sorry.
Hey, I didn't see your name or anything, so I didn't know if it was a member of the public or not.
That would have been wonderful, but no, it's just me.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, thank you. All right, Madam President, Ms. Gonzalez, we just approved the first item, the minutes and previous minutes and today's agenda. Now we're just on the second action item, which is the resolution at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Let me get back to the agenda.
So everything else on the resolution is as it was last month. Again, it was emailed to you previously for your review and just, outlines all of our policies, procedures, and that we will be having, unless otherwise stated, our monthly meetings on the third Wednesday at 10 a.m. of every month.
Mhm.
Anything else I'm missing on there? All right, if there's not any questions or discussion, we can make a motion to approve the annual resolution for 2024-2025.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Quesada. Ms. Gonzalez, can you do it as the president? Make a motion or a second?
and I don't know if I can second, I know I can't motion it because that one's the governing council resolution. It's my well, it's essentially my topic, so I can't motion that one.
Just to be safe, let's go ahead and have Ms. Montoya or Mr. Frey to second it if you all choose to.
Yeah, I second.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Montoya for seconding it. And see no opposition.
Opposition, motion carried.
Thank you. All righty, we are now on to the open forum. We are here at the school, obviously. We are in session right now. There's nobody physically here. The public was invited, and there's nobody in the waiting room on the Zoom call at the moment. So we will move on at this time to discussion and action for fiscal, and Ms. Cabral.
So the first item on our fiscal listing is our Finance Committee 24-25 schedule. So I'd like to propose or maybe discuss some options for when the committee is available to meet. I figured we could meet maybe Thursday afternoons, maybe Monday afternoons, just to allow us time to meet before the actual board meeting, to have those on a regular schedule.
So I guess we can, y'all could think about it and let us know. Ms. Gonzalez will be on that finance committee meeting. And we would like Mr. Freitas, if he has time. Again, it's just once a month, and will not take as long as a regular meeting, just to kind of go over the financials before our meeting occurs.
I think it would be good to do it the Thursday before our board meeting. That way we're ready to go. We're prepared. If there's anything presented, we're all prepared as a committee to speak on it if we need to. So maybe like the Thursday before.
Sure. Yes. I agree with that. Any time is good for us on our end, so I guess either let us know your schedule, or let's see, you want to make a determination now.
I'm easy. Just you guys tell me what time on Thursday. Probably just not, probably around the same time, 10, 11.
Okay.
Work
Yeah,
for y'all?
we could do 10, yes.
Okay, so let's do 10 a.m.
Okay, sounds good.
Is it gonna be at the school?
Online and or at the school.
All right, it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so moving on to our June 2024 financials. Sticking with the visual presentation kind of that we went over last month, I did change the background a little bit so it was a little easier to read. But we still have our budget information. All of these tabs remain the same from before. So if you wanted to see that detail, you're more than welcome to. This is our revenue for May and June, and then our disbursement detail. So total disbursements for June, they'll be a little higher just because we were closing out our fiscal year end. So we're coming in at $521,779. In our revenue, we are, still getting in those RFRs from the year. The total there was $463,178. And so again, this is pulling from our operational expenditure data for the month of June. So you can see that our salaries, of course, are highest. We did have an additional pay for our instructors, their summer pay that was paid out. So they received 3 payrolls in June. So that accounts for that large amount there. But you'll see that retirement, which are our benefits, are in there, as well as some contract services to pay out some contracts we had in place for the year, and all of that there. And I did mention last month, you will see our tick marks being met for spend downs as we get into June. So this is our food service budget. We historically will use all of that budget throughout the year, and of course overflow into supporting some of that in our operating account. 31200 is our lease assistance. So that is distributed throughout the year and spent down every year. Our 26204, that is a spaceport gross receipts tax allocation that we have received over years. There hasn't been much spend down in that fund, just because we're not really sure how much we are going to receive each year. But we do have plans this year to use that specifically for our science and math programs, as that is the allowable programs that are in the grant. Our 2-4 funds are our federal funds. So you'll see our Title I was used up. We did have to allocate some of our math teacher salary, which is allocated in that fund in some of our operating. That has just happened within the last couple years, where we're having to, pick some of that FTE up in our operating expense. So that one is spent down. Our 24106 is our idea B. This one, we're not quite there, but this being a federal fund, there's a little bit of that lap over in fiscal years, where we do have until September 2024 to spend down prior year funds. So that you'll see that that blue bar come up to that green allocation there. These funds here, 24174, 24176, our Perkins funds, those were completely spent down. So we made use of those gathering equipment, tools, supplies for our CTE construction pathway. So that's there. Those are all spent down. Our 24189 is our contract service with FYI, who comes in to provide JARC services to our students. So that was about $10,000 that we did completely spend down. 24190 is our CSI grant that was expired earlier in September 2023. So we didn't get the entire year to spend that down, but it did come back in the form of a carryover, which we did include with our fiscal budget for fiscal year 2025. So that did carry over into this year. So we're able to spend more of that carryover down. Same thing for our 24308. This is our SR2 money. This one was completely expired in September 2023. So we didn't have a chance to get that all spent down. But if you'll see our SR3 money here, we're on a pretty good track with this one to get it spent down by the expiration date in September. So we'll see that bar definitely go up to meet that goal as well. And
Priscilla, can I ask a question on the one that we couldn't spend down?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the difficulty in getting that money spent down? Was it because it was given to us late?
So we had two years to spend it down, but the way that NMPD has us actually have and request that budget authority. We had some problems in, I believe it was the end of fiscal year 22, where we did have to clean up that budget and had to wait for a carryover letter, which did come later in the year. And once we received that, this was the fund that we had our retention stipends pulled from.
Uh-huh.
That did help with a lot of the bulk of it.
Okay. So do you think we're gonna get penalized, or do you think we're gonna get a decrease in those funds going forward because we didn't spend it down, or we'll be
So-
okay?
So the ESSER funds aren't renewable. They're completely expired, you know, at that point in time. And ESSER 2 just happened to expire in September 23. So we weren't able to run that stipend again to kind of get that bulk of the funding down. We had purchased equipment, laptops, computers, and those are generally allowable in both ESSER 2 and 3.
Okay.
So it was just kind of pulling from each fund to make sure it was spent down and then just realizing when we were able to spend it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
If I could add a little bit more context, especially compared to what other districts and especially charters did with some of those funds, is they hired personnel with that. Like full-time FTEs for instructional staff and, you know, student support and stuff like that. And we were very cautious in doing that because we knew these were not renewable funds.
Yes.
And there's a lot of other, you know, other LEAs that are having to make some very difficult decisions because there is no sustainability plan in doing that. So, you know, those that did spend those down a little more than we did are in a tough situation versus where we're at currently. So, you know,
Okay.
it was a kind of a strategic decision to, you know, not put all of our funds in the, you know, the basket of personnel and really try to use that money or those funds to, you know, have services and products that we can utilize throughout, you know, the future after the funds expire versus using it for personnel.
No, that's good. I think that's a super smart move. I just wanted to make sure that, I think that was totally smart to do it that way, Cass, because it does, there's no sustainability, like you said. I just want to make sure that, you know, if and when we have to answer for that spend of how come, or we lose different funding as a result of not spending, that we're confident in our decision. And I agree with that one. So thank you.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so moving into our state funds, you'll see these came actually a little bit closer than our federal funds. I think we are a little more aligned with our CTE programs in our state funds. So that was, I guess, the difference in our spending plans there. They were, you know, going towards specific machines, specific equipment, supplies for our pathways, and to try to supplement them. So our 27407 is our family income index. So we almost got there, getting over 65,000 in that fund as expenditures. Our 27502 is our next gen account. And I believe we spent the bulk of that down. We're just at that green marker there. And then our innovative zones are 27552. I believe that one was also spent down within, I think it was like a couple $1,000. But I can have that ready for you to look at here in a bit in that detail. Okay. And then 27583, this was a fund that we received later in the year. I believe it was in April when we had received the notice that, you know, we were going to be putting in an application and being awarded. So at that point, getting it through board approval, PED approval, I believe we established budget authority early to mid-May. And we're working to gather quotes and make sure everything we had wanted to order was in stock. There were a few things that weren't, but with the limited time to spend down that fund, we didn't really look for replacements because they were going to overlap fiscal years. And that was specific to this fund, that it was not going to be renewed or allowed for carryover.
Wellness.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, and then that particular one was a wellness grant that we were promised by October we would have it, but we didn't get it till April. So yeah, that put us a little crunch in our timeline, but we were pretty successful in transforming our school cafeteria to a RAM relaxation cafe. So I encourage you all to come check that out when you get a chance and stop by the school. I'm gonna have you actually sign some documents here pretty soon, so that will be a good time for you to look and see what's going on in our RAM relaxation cafe.
Cool.
All right, and last chart here is just a comparison in revenue from May and June, just seeing the closing there and gathering all of our RFR monies, seeing that hit our bank. You'll see in July, we'll have an increase as well, just closing out the year. All our RFRs were due by July 7th. So you'll see some of that revenue from the prior year coming in next month's report. Does anyone have any questions on the budget reports as presented? Okay,
No questions. It looks really, really good, Priscilla.
great. Thanks. I'm glad.
It visually makes a lot of sense.
Good, good. I figured revenue would be a good comparison to do month to month. I'm still working out expenditures just because that data is so large. It's kind of hard to put it all in one chart without first categorizing it, I guess. But yeah, I'm hoping to get something that we can sustain through the year and just have that available for anyone that needs that visual.
Yes, thank you for the visuals.
Great. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to our 23-24 inventory certification. This is something that we present to the board annually, saying that we did go through our inventory. Anything over $5,000 is considered an asset that we do have to report to our auditors. This year, we were fortunate enough to contract with RCI, which stands for Records Consultants and Imaging. They came down to the school and actually did a physical inventory of all our items, just because we did receive ESSER money to purchase laptops and that kind of thing. We wanted to make sure that we had all of that properly inventoried, and we were able to conduct an inventory, in the future with our staff, and software was available and easy to use. So that was done. They met with us in June for a training on how to use the software and letting us know what all was done. So we are asking for this letter of inventory certification to be approved to present with our audit. The next action item is the 24-25 Department of Finance travel rates. DFA for short. They publish these annually and schools adopt them as the approved rate when reimbursing staff, employees for PD or training. So you'll see it's not a huge jump from fiscal year 24. Our in-state lodging for overnight travel went up to $166. Same for out of state. And international travel, which I don't think we have any plans for our staff to do, but that is there as well. Meal rates are staying the same at $59 per 24-hour period. And same for partial day and returning the same day rates.
Perfect.
Does anyone have any questions on the inventory certification or the DFA rates?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that is all I have for you all this morning.
All right, Madam President, if there's no other questions, we can call for a motion.
Motion?
Yep.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve, is there a motion to approve the 2023-24 inventory cert and the 2024-25 Department of Finance travel rates?
And June 2024 financials.
And June 2024 for financials, yes.
I'll make that motion on all that was stated.
Okay, is there a second?
Ms. Montoya did second. I'm not sure if y'all heard that, but she did.
Okay, seen,
No
no
opposition.
opposition, motion carried. Sorry. I
Okay.
will get it before the end of the year, I promise. Man, oh man, it's such an easy thing and it's such a hard thing at the same time. All right, we'll get it, people. We'll get it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for those approvals. We'll move on to our final item before adjournment is my report. Enrollment is very good right now. I don't have an exact number because students are disenrolling and coming in. Disenrolling a few here and there, but they're coming in at a really high rate. And we're around 210 right now,
What?
give or take a few.
Wow,
I know.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
We will have, around a dozen or so, probably like no shows that will drop.
Yeah.
But we're already replaced those and then some. So we should have, stay at over 200, at least throughout the next couple of weeks, and then probably even grow a little more as, the school year kind of gets going. So, excellent news there. Very happy, very satisfied. If I could remind, everybody, last year we were budgeted on 167 students. We ended the school year with about 190. This year we're budgeted on 185 students, and we're already, above 200. So, really good news, and hopefully those numbers will increase. And, the warm body counts are really high as well. The school is, these kids are showing up so far. It's only the third day, but they're here. The classrooms are full. The cafeteria is full, during breakfast and lunch, or the Ram Relaxation Cafe, not the cafeteria anymore. The cafe is full, and yeah, it's just really great. Spirits are good. Spirits are high. Teachers are happy to have students, in seats. So, off to a really good start as far as that goes.
That's exciting. That's kudos.
Yes.
Kudos, Martinez,
Kudos to
because
everybody.
that's a
Thank
great
you.
number.
Yes. Okay, next item. I believe the email I was going to congratulate everybody myself, but the email came yesterday that everybody received from the charter school division, and everybody did complete their training for last fiscal year. So thank you to everybody who got that done. Yeah, congratulations. That's a big deal to not have any findings related to that. So thank you very much. CSD did confirm that to me a couple of weeks ago, or really to Amy, who then confirmed it to me. And then they sent out that official, document yesterday on email. If you haven't seen that, you have it in your email, I believe. So again, congratulations on that. Next item, last week was our first week back under our new contracts with teaching staff, instructional staff, and we had a full week of professional development. We spent a couple of days here in our building doing different sorts of trainings and preparing for the school year. And then I did something that we have never done before, but had an opportunity this year, and I took all of the instructional staff to Albuquerque on Thursday overnight, and we spent all day Friday working with our partner charter school in Albuquerque called ACE Leadership. They are also an innovative zone school. They are a CTE school that's focused on construction. They do a lot of good things around project-based learning in that career pathway. And we wanted to be exposed to their model And they want to learn from us as far as what we're doing with our student learning community course and how we're servicing our students, holistically and taking care of their needs that go beyond, academic needs. So we are partnering with them, and it was a really good experience for my instructional staff, for their instructional staff and administration. And again, we're gonna, partner together as innovative zone partner schools and really work with each other and learn from each other. They have a very similar mission as we do, very similar vision, and very similar student demographics as we do here at Las Montañas. So a great partnership and a really good start to developing that working relationship with a completely different charter school from Albuquerque that I think is going to be very beneficial for both of us, both of our school institutions as we continue to evolve that partnership.
Mr. Martinez, I just think that, I mean, I wanted just to make sure that I really appreciate that effort because it is extremely helpful to be able to piggyback off of somebody else and get different ideas and different perspective, because it also helps keep your teachers motivated and help them think outside the box. So I think that's a great partnership. And I heard a lot from them when I went up to that conference. I know there was a lot of participants that attended that conference. So good things I heard from that school. So I'm really excited that you partnered with them. So awesome job.
Yes, that's right. You were in that meeting with us when we
Yeah.
met with their school leader.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
And, if you talk to any of the teachers, they'll let you know that they had a really good experience over there and they did learn a lot. They were, motivated and energized and got some good ideas. And they're going to come visit us in September. So we hope they have the same experience we did, and we're pretty confident that they will. Again, we do something really, really well that they're trying to figure out how to do, and they do something very, very well that we are trying to figure out how to do better. So yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be a really good relationship, and thanks for saying that, Ms. Gonzalez.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Okay, next item is a new school year orientation. We had that on Monday of this week for the first day of school. So we had all of the students come in, whether they were returning students or not. We took them through a whole day's worth of different sessions that different teachers were responsible for as far as disseminating information to the students on how a specific item as far as our school operation and the day-to-day that the student experiences works. So it was like a mini conference. Like we all go to professional conferences and we have different sessions that we attend. We gave that experience to the students and they learned, everything there is to know about being a student at Las Montañas and everything from rules, policies, regulations, how their credits work, so their graduation requirements, all the different career pathways, to the SLC class and what that entails. The work-based learning program that we're beginning and starting, and hopefully, really progressing with that. And just everything as far as being a student day to day, they were able to experience that in that first day of the school year on Monday for the orientation. And then we're in, our second day of instruction here during this first week. And then, of course, we'll wrap up the week tomorrow and complete a successful first week and then, move on from there. So I just wanted to let everybody know how this week has gone. Again, it's gone very well with the number of students we have, and the vibe around the school has started off really good so far. So hopefully that momentum will continue as we progress throughout the school year. Next item is the charter school contract renewal. That application I've begun working on, and it's going to get a lot more intense for me beginning next week. And that application is due September 1st. I will have most of it, if not all of it, prepared and ready for you to look at and to read prior to our next or our regular scheduled meeting in August. And then you will approve that application so I could submit that to the Charter School Division and Public Education Commission by September 1st. Typically, it's October 1st, but there is a lot of schools in the renewal cycle that we are with as far as our cohort. So they asked us if we would go a month early, and I agreed. That's not a problem. So I'm gonna have that ready September 1st to submit and turn in. And then I'll explain a little more next month about that as far as me submitting that to you all for approval and then to them. And then in November, we'll go in front of the Public Education Commission in Santa Fe to have our renewal hearing. They are going to question us on some of our data, our graduation rate, our proficiency rate according to state standardized tests. But I will, do the best I can to answer, there's some of the reasons for that. Again, everybody's aware of what kind of school that we have and who our students are and who we serve and why we serve them. And I will also relay what we have done to try to get those scores up and what we're planning to do in the next 5 years to really, really address the needs of our students. So just be prepared for that. Wanted to bring that up today and have that on your radar. I also will be getting a little bit of help from a consultant who used to actually work for the Charter Schools Division. And there's a new performance framework contract that we'll get into, in the coming months that happens after we get our renewal hearing and our renewal. And it's brand new, so I don't have a lot of experience in that. So I think this individual is going to be very beneficial and helpful to us. So I've gotten into a contract with her to just be our partner consultant in this process, just to make sure, because there's a lot of new things that the next 5 years that I'm setting up the school the best way possible in this contract, in order to meet our student needs and our staff needs and our instructor needs, and just to make sure that contract is negotiated in a way that everybody is set up for success, with our school community. Next item, our attorney that we've been using for a number of years has retired. We are looking for other options to have, a school counsel on either retainer or have a general counsel, contract. So I'm kind of shopping around a little bit, and Ms. Gonzalez, I'll talk more specifically about some of the options to you when we get a chance, and then, individually, anyone else will make those decisions, and then I'll bring some options to the table next month for your consideration on what direction we're going to move in getting representation for the school. Fortunately, we're not dealing with any litigation. We haven't since I've been around, and I anticipate that to be the case, but you never know. You never know what will happen. And then also the different, I guess, reasons to have a general counsel or an attorney on retainer. They get help with policies, with procedures, with making sure we're in compliance with these open meetings that we're having, and just general things that could be proactive that will help us out versus reactive and like, oh, there's an issue, we need an attorney. So I'll talk a little bit more about that with you all individually, and then again, bring some options to you all for consideration next month. And I just wanted to make sure and remind you all as far as what was discussed in our meeting last month, to make sure that I'm aware of the goals and requests and expectations of myself as your executive director, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page with that, and as far as following through what was discussed last month for myself and what you all expect of me. So that's all I have for now. All right, if there's no questions or any other discussion? At this time, we can make a motion to adjourn.
I guess I'll lead that one in another motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Quesada, for the motion. Can we get a second, please?
Second,
All right, thank you. Thank you for the seconds, and seeing no opposition,
position, motion carried.
motion carries. All right. Thank you,
Have a
everybody.
good one, everybody.